You've just entered the law offices of Quibble, Squabble, and Bicker. If you've come for actual legal advice, you need to turn right around, honey. You need to get out of here, 'cause you ain't gonna get none of that. They quibble, and they squabble, and they bicker. But if you want to hear meaningless opinions, this is the right place. They got plenty of that. Stuff that makes no sense at all. They go off on tangents. It's crazy talk. If that's your thing, keep listening. They'll keep talking.
Oh no no, oh no no, it's another episode of the Law Offices of Quibble, Squabble, and Bicker. You've entered the Law Offices of Quibble, Squabble, and Bicker. Yay!
Welcome, everyone, to another episode of the Law Offices of Quibble, Squabble, and Bicker, where we've begun by squabbling with Zoom for doing something new and not even telling anybody they were going to do it.
Damn you, Zoom.
Which, and just so everybody knows, our guest today did not show up due to a scheduling conflict. So you will have to welcome back our old format of us talking to each other and addressing the needs of our newest client. The customer is always Karen. So that brings us into the fact that you listeners of ours and viewers who see us on YouTube, you are our customers. You are the ones that we reach out to and you consume our content. So thus, that makes you Karen today. So if your name doesn't happen to be Karen, it's okay. You can take it upon yourself and own it for yourself. But we should let everybody know that we're going to be doing an anniversary show on June 23rd. It's going to be live on YouTube, and I hope you all can watch it. And I don't know how the live thing works, live streaming works, because, I'm old and I haven't really taken that much time to figure it out. So we'll be doing stuff. We're going to try and get back some of our old guests that we've had. We're going to let you know about some brand new things that we're going to be doing, including a merchandise store, which we're just starting to get operational. We're going to have a new intro, new artwork. We're going to have a whole new Greg. He's going to be replaced by a mannequin, and but he'll be talking behind it the entire time and basically just shaking its head sometimes. So it'll be quite fascinating.
It'll be a definite improvement.
It might be, but you never know. But the facial hair will never change, especially if we use a mannequin. But anyway, so Greg, to you, what does it mean that the customer is always Karen?
Well, I think it comes from the expression the customer is always wrong. And that old expression.
Where does that come from?
Well, it actually is a flip on the customer is always right.
That's the real old saying, you damn liar.
But it's in my book, it's an old saying. I'm 53. I've been saying it for decades now. Because I found out working in customer service, working grunt jobs my whole life, is that, yeah, the customer's usually wrong. They know what the fuck they're talking about.
Can we see this book that you're talking about?
You
said it's in your book. I want to know what else is in this book of yours.
Well, but I think that Greg is really qualified to talk about this because I'm not. Greg is, somewhat in the front line of this kind of shit. Because, I have to admit, it's a sick pleasure of mine to watch those Karen videos on YouTube. I find them like watching fucking traffic accidents. I just love them, and it's horrible, and I shouldn't. But, Greg, working where you work, have you had any sort of those Karen experiences?
Never that badly, like where it was somebody put it on YouTube. But just the fact that you have to eat shit, the whole idea your boss has said, the customer's always right. That means someone can be a total dick to you and treat you like you're less than they are because you work at a shitty job and be rude. And you can't even fight back. You can't even just say, hey, man, come on, watch your tone. I could get fired for that. So you just got to suck it up, swallow it, and be like, oh, I eat shit again. So, that's basically the customer isn't necessarily always wrong, but the customers a lot of times are just dicks. I don't know if that should be the new expression. The customers are always dicks.
But how about the customer is usually a dick?
Yeah, usually a dick.
Usually,
well, I think that's where the Karen comment comes in, because Karen is like the female dick.
There's actually many nice customers, but the few that do come in who are just like, are you serious? You're going to treat me like this just because I work at a fucking coffee house or whatever?
Do you think it all stems from the older saying that the squeaky wheel gets the grease, and so the Karens are all squeaky?
I have seen that happen. It's crazy. Like if you yell loud enough, you'll get anything you want at a store. If you've got the cojones to just keep going, you can get a lot of free shit from stores.
Because people just want to shut you down. They want to get you to stop yelling.
Yeah, I worked at a used bookstore, so people would come and sell us their shit. You can imagine we had a lot of junkies come in. We had lots of thieves, basically, and sometimes they were so sketchy. They were like nodding off on the counter. They obviously were junkies who stole the shit, but they'd complain enough. They just say, "I bought this here and I want to return it for cash." Sorry, sir, you don't have a receipt, and they just stay. And then finally, the guy would give them the cash.
Well, how did you know that they were junkies, Greg? Were you doing like
Because
lines with them
I
in
know
the
me
back?
some junkies. I got junkiedar after that job.
Junk
I could smell
jar.
them. I could smell them.
I can smell a junkie.
You can kind of smell a junkie.
Yeah.
He's not lying. A real
Well,
good junkie.
I guess it depends upon the junkie.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure
So-
there's plenty of junkies that have good hygiene.
Right. So my next question is this, because I literally just had this conversation with my wife. Is it true? Because it's, of course, the customer's always Karen. So the trope is that it's this middle-aged white woman who's the Karen. And
Right.
certainly there are Kevins or Chads or whatever you call them. There's guys that do the same thing. But is this predominantly a female thing?
No.
No, not at all.
Well, no, I think I mean, just based upon personal experience, and I can't generalize that it's the case, but from what I've seen more women being willing to complain about things and to get what they wanted than men.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've just seen it more. That doesn't mean that it's true for everybody, but I've just happened to see that more. I know
No,
my mother used to be really good about getting her way at stores, but she wasn't a Karen. She was a Leslie. That hasn't changed, actually. She's still a Leslie.
And it's definitely not a white thing either, because I've seen black people be terrible customers. Or when I worked at Powell's Books once, and this elderly, well-to-do black couple came in, and they were given this clerk next to me. He was like this punk rock tattoo guy, white guy. And they were like, "How come you don't have Jet magazine here? You have all these magazines, but you don't have Jet." And if you guys are not familiar with that, that's like People for black people.
Yeah.
You know, it has fashion stars in it. And
Wait,
he was like, "Sir, I don't know."
People for black people? That sounds like a
Yeah.
movement.
Yeah, People for
It's like
or
an
maybe
organization.
In Touch Weekly for black people, if that makes it more clear.
By stating
But
these things, you're showing that you're out of touch weekly.
But so this guy was
I
giving
think
this guy shit.
I think it's more ebony for cooler black people.
Yes. Yeah, Ebony's the same. I think he mentioned Ebony. And so the guy was like, "Sir, I don't know."
The question is, why wouldn't they have Jet or Ebony at that bookstore if they have?
Well, because there's barely any black people in Portland who would buy it, first of all. And second
That's
of all, this
probably a
guy,
good point, actually.
and you know what I wanted to say to
It's
the guy?
rather
I just
white
want-
bread in this part of the world.
And I don't even think we carried People or In Touch. We carried like decent magazines at Powell's, Atlantic Monthly, Harper's.
Oh,
Lots of
you're
good
an
stuff.
elitist. You're saying that
It was
People and In
elitist,
Touch
yeah.
Weekly are not good magazines?
No, they're terrible magazines. They're total fluff. They're like what the internet was before the internet, like stupid memes that would come up and dumb articles about celebrities that you could give two shits about. So I wanted to say to them, I just want to say, well, yeah, because it's a shit magazine. That's why we don't carry it too. I mean, we don't carry gossipy magazines at all. But we couldn't say that, and I could tell this guy was very uncomfortable because he's a white guy.
So you're going on record saying that Jet and Ebony are shit magazines, Greg?
Yes, I used to work the magazine department at my old store. I know every magazine. I flip through them. I know what they're all about.
So
I'm an
you
expert.
are. So you admitting that you are a racist then?
Yeah, if you want to say that, yeah.
You're
No,
a magazine
No,
racist.
but this guy, he was in this total quandary, and this guy knew it. He was like he had a bug under his finger. He was like, he can't say anything back, I bet, because he could get in real trouble. If he says anything about them, he could say, "That guy's being racist," and the manager would, give him shit. So a manager finally came over and talked to him and said, "Oh, I'm sorry, sir. We'll look into that." But it's just like, this guy knew that we couldn't talk back. It was like, you could tell he was just loving it. He was there for 20 minutes just saying, "Why don't you have Jet and Ebony?" Telling the cashier this, who has no choice of what magazines we sell,
It is gonna suck for cashiers and people who are at the front lines who get
God.
this raft of shit from customers
Yeah.
because they have no control over what's there. There's
Yeah.
nothing all they can do is obey orders. It's like the whole thing with masks in various different establishments across the country, where people
Right.
are just yelling at the employees who are trying to enforce the policy of the store from some jackasses who like freedom.
Yeah.
How dare you make me safe from a disease? that's rampant across the country. How dare you prevent this from occurring? You horrible minimum wage worker, you who
Yeah. Yeah, no,
basically.
the last time I really saw this was exactly that. I was walking into Walmart, and it was a husband and a wife. So it was a Karen Kevin combo deal. And
I like the alliteration there. You have a KKC instead of a KKK.
Right. And so the poor, middle dude that's working the thing in the door is like, you have to put on a mask. And the wife starts, and then he's like, I don't know. I mean, and then the husband jumps in, and I'm standing there and I'm like, you know what? And so it's like, hey. And they turn around. They're white. The employee was black. I said, leave this kid alone. Put on a stupid mask and go in the store. And then they started yelling at me. And then we got into this whole thing. Anyway, it's just so dumb.
I'm sorry. I just got very distracted by the Dick Tracy watch you're wearing there. It just flashed at us.
Oh, did it? Oh, okay.
Yeah, it did something with like a Chinese hieroglyphics or something. What is
I got to
that?
say though, bravo to Brendan for doing that. I want to clap. But
For speaking up for the employee.
Yeah. God, it's so dumb. I mean, whether you want it, what side of that dumb argument you fall on, the fact that you're going to yell at some poor kid that doesn't have any choice in the matter is just stupid.
See, I'm kind of a big pussy, and I can't really jump into altercations. I'm like, I'll let these guys figure it out. But
that's true. I will admit that Greg is like that, because we were at like I don't know, like a karaoke thing, and he and I were getting into like this heated argument. And instead of like standing up for himself and kind of confronting it and dealing with the issue, he's like, "I'm leaving. I'm getting out of here now. I've got to go. I cannot handle," and then I didn't go. I had to tell you. He did actually. It was like written all over you.
Was he?
I just wasn't having fun anymore.
Was he
arguing?
Right. Was he arguing with you, Matt?
Yes, he was.
Isn't that hard to imagine?
No, it's not. I'm just like, how did it?
Oh, okay. It was just a silly disagreement about something, about a protocol. And he wasn't having fun anymore, so he had to go. Yeah.
Well, yeah. Let's not get into this. Let's get back to my story. Where the one time when I almost jumped.
That's why he was being an anti-Karen.
I'm so glad I didn't. Where I was on a TriMet bus, and we used to call it TriMet Theater because you'd always see some crazy.
You need to explain to people what a TriMet is, Greg.
Oh, that's our public transportation system in Portland. The buses and the Max. So I'm on the bus.
What's TriMet stand for?
I don't know. I don't care. Tri-City Metropolitan Busing.
What other cities are involved?
I already don't give a shit. Can he just finish the story?
I want to actually. I'm curious now.
Okay, look it up now while I talk. Look it up on Google.
I'll look it up.
Yeah.
I'll Google it.
So this girl was on the phone and she's being really loud, and she looks like some kind of like, I don't know, hate to say it, trailer trashy type girl, and she's crying, and she's like basically like, "I'm pregnant. You're the father. I'm coming over." And obviously this guy's like, "Don't come over. I don't give a shit. It's not my baby." And she's but she's cursing while she's doing it. She's obviously distraught. She's like, "You fucking bastard. You got me pregnant." And everyone in the bus is just like, "Oh my God, this poor fucked up girl." And then there's this old man like who kind of like gets up to leave with his cane. And he's just all like, "Nice mouth on you." And I wanted to get up and be like, "Dude, fuck you." Like, this kid, have you been hearing what she's been saying? And this girl, though, before I did it, thank God, she just started the shit that came out of her mouth like, "Fuck you, you old cripple. I hope you die, you crippled old fuck." And I was like, oh my God, if I came to her defense, right? Because I was like, oh, okay, she gets what she deserves. She's not a nice girl. It was
the
so
mouth
weird.
On you, Greg.
Yeah.
Because you just repeated all that.
Yeah, we curse on this show.
Oh, I've never heard such a thing.
You fucking old cripple.
So TriMet.
Fucking cripple.
TriMet was formerly known as the Tri-County Metropolitan Transportation District of Oregon.
I'm so glad you looked that up and actually told us.
Tri-County.
Yes. I just wanted you to look it up for your own edification. Don't waste our time on.
Well, there may have been other. This is for any other people out there who are going, Yeah, what is that TriMet thing he's talking about? What's the try? Does it mean they're trying to be like one of the Mets in New York or something? Yeah,
The
how's that
zero
work?
people, the zero
Yes.
people who are wondering,
We are speaking to that zero person.
the
That zero
-3
person needs to
people.
know. There's
Ladies
3
and gentlemen,
counties.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to introduce tonight's fake sponsor, Reef Donkey. Reef Donkey is a locally brewed IPA here in Tampa. A Reef Donkey is also known as an amberjack, which is a local Florida fish. And it's a pretty good beer. It's like all the taste of a Northwest IPA without all of the wokeness and riots. So please join me in drinking a Reef Donkey.
But I have to say, just to quibble a bit, that is not an IPA. Take a look at the bottom of that can and see what it says, Brendan.
You know why? Where is it? Where's the camera?
There we go.
There.
American,
American Pale Ale. It's an APA. It's the
'Cause
American Psychological Association.
because it's fucking Florida and fuck India.
So now I do want to find out weird curiosities. Why the hell is a fish called a donkey, a reef donkey? What is donkey like
There's
about
a
this
fish
fish?
called a reef donkey?
Yeah,
It's a nickname for this fish.
yeah. An amberjack, which is a type of fish, it's kind of related to the tuna. It's a predatory, like it's a carnivore, eats other fish. They're called reef donkeys because they hang around near reefs and they're very stubborn and hard to
Oh, I
deal
thought
with.
they were like carrying cargo for people or something.
No, they're not. They're they get big. I mean, a good amberjack is like yay
So you
big.
could put a saddle on one of those and ride it, maybe.
If you were a small monkey or a squirrel, yeah, with scuba gear,
If
possibly.
you're a reef monkey,
If you were a reef
reefs-
monkey,
And
you
a reef
could ride
squirrel. You
a
could ride
reef
the
squirrel could
donkey.
ride a reef donkey.
So
So there
they're
you
called
go.
amberjacks, though.
Amberjacks. Yep.
Is that
So-
a color? They have like the color of amber. Is that?
They have you can kind of see a little bit. They have a like some coloration on the side. This looks real yellow,
Yeah.
but when it's a real fish, it's more of a amberish.
I wonder if they eat a
yellow
lot
orange.
of flies too.
I don't know. They eat a lot of crustaceans and small fish.
our
Okay.
other sponsor today is this faded 30-year-old Wildcats cup full of bourbon and Coke.
Yeah,
It's not
the bottles
bourbon,
anywhere.
Greg. Once again, it's Holocaust whiskey. You're not drinking bourbon.
Whatever.
Stop lying to people.
It
You
gets me drunk.
lie. Okay, that I understand that part because everyone kind of experiences that with you.
It
along
allows
the
me
way.
to talk to you.
Is
It
that
makes
what's...
it palatable.
I'm not having fun anymore.
I'm leaving. No, but first I have to go.
But Greg,
I'm leaving.
nobody's cuter than you.
Here, I'm
That's-
gonna read you from the side of the can because I think it'll help. It
Oh,
says,
we've got reef donkey literature.
yes, the amberjack is a strong fighting game fish that can be found throughout Florida's wrecks and reefs.
Oh,
Sportsmen know this adversary as the reef donkey. Enjoy this hoppy APA. Fresh, you donkey.
ya donkey. Be throwing Gordon Ramsay into that.
Yeah, he's
Yeah,
holding-
donkey.
he would say, "You fucking donkey," though. You fucking donkey.
Is that what he would say, Greg?
He says that a lot in the show. I love that expression.
Could you do it in a full Scottish accent?
Yeah, I don't know what I was doing. Australian, maybe.
I don't know
You
what you're
fucking
doing.
donkey.
No, Scottish, Greg.
I have to always say a. You fucking donkey.
It's closer.
Where's me kilt?
The
I'll
donkey
hit you in
wears
the
a
head with my
kilt.
shillelagh. Oh wait, that's Irish.
Shillelagh has, yeah, I think Brendan
Never
might have
mind.
something to say about that.
Sorry, Brendan. Sorry to trigger you.
Don't you be fucking talking about the goddamn shillelagh.
It's a reef shillelagh.
It's a reef shillelagh.
I'll tell you about the
Well-
5 counties.
So
Yeah,
some
five-
the five
Go ahead.
Something about sometimes it's useful to do the quibbling because we found out that it was not an IPA that he was drinking; it was an APA, and I'm sure that the fellow Floridians would be very angry if they knew you were calling it an IPA.
Oh, yes. Who all listen to the show?
Right. Well, we have maybe 2 from people from Florida who might listen to it on occasion.
The lady who flicks her bean in public. She's an avid listener now.
The bean flicker. She's a one.
You know, I did find out what her full name was on out of boredom one day when I had re-listened to the episode.
Boredom.
Yes, and I was like, well,
That's
they
what
want
people call.
they want to know who this person is so they could put her on her show. I'm talking about the Happy Hour News Team guys. So I think we could like pass on her name to them. I didn't write it down though.
That would totally piss him off if we got her on our show and bragged about it to him.
Brendan could invite her in.
Yeah.
Into my house?
Yeah.
Yes.
You know, do a live broadcast with her.
Maybe. And off at the Hooters on Gulf to Bay. Maybe.
Bean flicking on trial.
You know.
So do you think how her doing that outside of a convenience store, was she back being a Karen, but like kind of an extreme Karen? That's the full extreme, showing your displeasure for a store is doing something like that in public in front of the store.
That was her protest, if you will.
Perhaps.
Maybe.
I mean, I don't know the story really that well.
I don't think that it's a protest. I think she's just, kind of into doing her. She's into doing her thing.
Yeah.
But why would you pick a convenience store location? I mean, unless it's an exhibition.
It's in public.
Yeah. No,
That's
I mean,
why.
I know that there's quite a lot of exhibitionist sex stuff that happens here in Florida. It's pretty common, especially out on the beach. Oh, all the time.
Well, the beach is one thing, where you there's some places I guess where you could hide like in the water or or something.
No, they're not hiding. No. No, if they were hiding, that would be like reasonably whatever. But no, I'm saying like out on the beach.
They're on the lifeguard chair, standing on the lifeguard chair.
Yeah, like in the lifeguard chair on a
fountain.
Dock, just giving it the old heave ho. Yeah.
Blow me down.
Just random people.
Yeah, the beach in Florida is kind of like the subway is in New York. It's like whatever is going to happen, it's going to happen out on the beach.
All the filth ends up there.
Oh, totally.
Trickles down to the beach.
And there's no manager to complain to that it's happening.
No, there's a lifeguard, but he doesn't give a shit.
Well, he's just there to save lives. He's not there to police self-pleasure moments.
No, he's mostly there to try to look hot and pick up chicks. But
right.
I gotta say, it flips. The customer thing flips the other way. Where I've worked with people where I'm like, God, you are such a rude shit to these customers. Like, I can't believe you talk to them that way, and they don't really fight back. I think it's the bully syndrome. Like, okay, this guy's a jerk, so I'm not gonna be all like, fuck you. But yeah, I have a manager who I listen to the headset, and he's such a kind of rude prick sometimes, and nobody ever says, "Hey, don't talk to me that way."
Do you want to call him out and say where he is? You want to use his name?
At work right now. Could be at work.
Do you want to use his name and just say
no?
Like totally call him out for
no, because he could make my life hell.
Yeah, no, but you just talked about him without saying it.
Yeah, but he doesn't know. I could be talking about anyone.
You just said it was your manager.
Yeah.
Well, how would he? If he heard it, he would know that you don't have another job and that he's your only manager.
Actually, he would also. There's no other male manager at this place. I just realized. So
you may as well just tell us his name, and if you got his address.
I couldn't give a shit about his name. What does he do? How does he?
He seriously is like a customer. I don't go to fast food. I rarely go out. So people are like confused about, oh, so what's a basket and how does this work? He's just like, oh my God. Like, he's just like so like condescending. Like, how could you not know the way we do things at Burgerville, the stupid restaurant? Like, sorry, I've never been here before. They're not being rude. They're not being idiots. They're just asking questions. And he's like really short with them. And
how old is this individual?
He's
13.
40-ish.
40-ish.
Yeah.
Oh.
Wow.
But he looks young. He's very well kept. He's one of those guys you can't tell his age because he's like metrosexual. He's a gay guy. So
but what's looking got to do with being rude?
Oh, so he's an angry gay guy working at a burger place. Well, that pretty much says everything.
Yeah.
Well,
but he's like, I'm not saying it's because he's gay, but it's like I was saying that's why he looks good because gay men don't age like we do. They take better care of themselves. It's true, Matt. Look it up.
I think some of them age like everyone else.
Some do.
Yeah.
But a lot of them take better care of themselves than we do. So they look
I have a couple of gay men that middle aged,
In
my
your
age.
closet?
Closet.
No,
Thank you, Greg, for thinking the same thing.
they just literally a year ago moved in across the street.
Oh
And
no! What are you going to do about that?
oh, I don't give a shit. They bought so many cookies for my daughter. God bless them. I'm just saying, going to Greg's point, they look like, overweight 40-plus-year-old dudes, but they are not.
And I bet they're 70 years old.
Nope. They're our age and they look like us.
I'm more curious about what cookies they bought.
They were big on Thin Mints and Samoas.
Okay.
Yeah, Thin Mints and Samoas.
So those are the gay cookies you're saying?
No, those are the most
cookies gays gravitate towards.
Those are the cookies that will not propagate because they're gay.
No, those are the most popular cookies.
Those more.
If I had to pick a gay cookie,
if you had your choice of all of the cookies, which ones would be
the gay cookies?
I would go with the Lemon Ups.
Lemon Ups?
Yeah, Lemon Ups.
Lemon Ups. Was it like lemon cream cookies or something?
They're. You remember those like lemon cookies that had like the powdered sugar on them, like a million years ago?
I think so.
They were just a circle. They were a little disc, and
like a disc, kind of like a mound, though.
Yeah, like a little mound.
Yeah,
and they were crunchy, and they had a lemon flavor, and then they were covered in powdered sugar.
Okay,
that used to be the go-to cookies for Girl Scouts, but then they changed it and became Lemon Ups. And
look,
wow!
And magically appear
another endorsement.
Lemon Ups from the Girl Scouts.
Also brought to you by Girl Scout cookies. Now these,
I don't see anyone gay on that package.
No, that's the thing.
How do you know?
It's secret.
There's no gays in the Girl Scouts, Matt.
They're undercover. It's in the closet. No, I don't know.
You guys, I think the gayest cookie's got to be the Nutter Butter, right?
But that's
not a Girl Scout cookie, though.
It's not a Girl Scout cookie.
Oh, I thought we were just talking about any cookie in general.
Well, we could. No. Why not? Let's go there. So,
Nutter Butter,
of all the cookies we know, you sure wouldn't be Chips Ahoy?
Hold on. A sponsor is speaking to me. What?
There are different Girl Scouts. Different Girl Scout cookies.
Spit it out, girl.
Everyone out there, you cannot hear what's going on in Brendan's house, so we don't really know what's going on either, other than someone has been eavesdropping on the podcast, and they have chosen to participate in a certain way.
Other than his dog.
Right. It was not the dog this time.
No, the dog was not involved.
But anyway, has no dog in this hunt.
So anyway, yes, those are the Lemon Ups, and I've got no further comment from the Girl Scout community relative to gay cookies, non-gay cookies, binary
I know
cookies.
What that sponsor said.
But there are no Nutter Butter cookies in the Girl Scout catalog.
They used to have peanut butter. Don't they have peanut butter type cookies though?
They used to have that rip-off one with the diamond in the middle. Remember the old peanut butter cookie? It was a sandwich, and it had a diamond cut out so the cream would kind of come up from the little diamond. Do you remember those? They were really good.
Did it shine bright like a diamond?
I don't know.
It was cut like a diamond. There's a hole in the top.
And did you squeeze them so that the peanut butter came through them, Greg?
No, they would just crumble. It would just crumble if you did that.
There is a peanut butter cookie.
Yeah, they changed it. It's not as good as the old ones.
It's not a diamond and it doesn't come in your mouth, but I don't know what it's called.
That's good to know.
It doesn't put Nutter Butter.
All I know is that Greg is turning into a Karen regarding these peanut butter cookies, though. So he is the customer of the peanut butter cookies.
I want to talk to your manager. Fuck you. Where's your manager?
Where's the Girl Scout manager?
Here's a couple of things about the Karen thing that I'm trying to understand. Whatever, they want to bitch or they want to complain. Maybe they're justified. Why do they think speaking to the manager is going to do anything? And what do they hope to achieve?
Well, because sometimes the manager has more authority and they can bypass some rules for them to get what they want. Sometimes you actually can make those things happen.
Okay.
By going to the squeaky wheel gets the grease thing.
Yeah, it also depends upon the manager of the store or the policies of the store. 'Cause sometimes the managers are given more autonomy in terms of letting people get what they want, whereas other people, they're lockstep in their fascist ways and they will refuse to do what you ask them
Yeah,
to do.
and make you put your mask on.
Put that damn mask on, fascist.
Fascist.
Yeah, I guess, I mean, the reason I'm asking is legitimately, it's been a long time since I worked in a customer service capacity where I had a manager. So I don't know.
Well, the fact is, you are the manager of your business. So if your customers are not happy with what you're doing, you get Karen moments right off the bat, like what we were discussing earlier. I'm not going to bring up those examples since it's a current client you have, but I'm sure you've got examples.
Yeah,
of...
but I do my best in terms of certainly my business, and I have the awesome, thank God, ability to do this. I can see, because I don't have transactional Karens, meaning Karen comes in, Karen goes out, Karen comes in. I have hundreds and hundreds of Karens I have to deal with potentially. I get to pick and choose. And I know coming in after having done this for a while, if somebody comes in and I go, oh my God, this is a Karen customer, client, I just don't take them.
Okay, fair enough.
And the problem is that poor Burger Hut has got no choice but to just accept any fucking person who comes in and wants a hamburger.
Yeah.
I have to back up though, because I really like the concept of the transactional Karen. Sounds more like a hooker than anything else, really.
Yeah, they kind of are in a way. I think they kind of are hookers in that their interchange with you is brief and can be highly emotional, or it can be fucking
or
whatever. Just I'm done. Here's my $10. See you later.
But I think in this analogy, you're the hooker and they're the John. You have a lot of Johns.
Oh, you mean for me?
Yeah.
He's suggesting
in my business,
you're the hooker.
You're a hooker and you got Johns.
No, you're absolutely right. No, you're absolutely right. I am the whore.
But you got no pimp though. That's nice.
No, I've got no pimp, and I pick my Johns. I pick the Johns I want. I pick the ones that are like good to me, that don't ask for that butt stuff, whatever. I get to choose.
You're like a high-class call girl.
He doesn't pick Kevin's. He only picks John's.
I only pick John's, no Kevin's. And yes, I am a high-class call girl. It's true. Of the marketing
You've got
world.
a couple of great bumper sticker quotes there today, Brendan. I
that
am
should
a
be for your
hooker.
business.
I am a high-class call girl. I think those will be on mugs that'll be sent.
You should use that for your business, Brendan. Just the high-class call girl.
That would do it. That would get him lots of people.
Yeah.
I'm literally God, I shouldn't even whatever. I'm literally going to be at a conference of lawyers next week. So I'm actually putting together my my booth and my handouts and all that sort of stuff. I was going with robots and automation and marketing automation, but
like robot lawyers?
No, like robotic marketing, like automated, whatever.
From Bangladesh.
Maybe I should go with high-end call girl.
Get some booth babes that look like hot call girls. You'll have the most popular booth there.
I have my wife.
There you go. Free booth babe. You don't have to pay her.
Don't even. Just have to buy her dinner.
Okay, the door's going to open in 3 and 2 and
well, luckily she hasn't heard anything you've been saying, Greg.
Thank God.
So we don't know that she wouldn't know that you've been referring to her. I have not been referring to her till just now. Someone has to stick up for Brendan's wife, so I shall do that. Anyway, has your wife ever been a Karen, Brendan?
Only in the ways that are necessarily positive. I think that
a positive Karen.
Yeah, well, no, let me give you an example. Like we went to Disney World, and we were in line for something, and then we had to get out of line to go check something else. and then that something else didn't turn out to be a thing. So we were going to go back to the line we were. And I, as the guy, just accepted, well, I'm just going to go back to the end of the line because that just seems like what you should do. Now, my wife, Holly, said, oh, no, we just left for a second. It's going to be fine. And she went up and she talked to the guy. Now, did she get out of control and was like yelling and screaming? No. But I guess what I'm saying is that the tendency, the rational part of what Karens do was in full play. She went and she talked to the guy and he was like, oh, you're right. Go ahead. Be right back where you started. Whereas I would have been an idiot and gone back to the back of the line and started over again. So she wasn't obnoxious, but she didn't have that thing that prevented her from doing what she did. Does that make sense? Yeah. I think what happens is that some women's little Jiminy Cricket that tells them you've gone past good taste on this point, it doesn't exist, and they just become idiots.
Well, I haven't heard Jiminy Cricket used appropriately in a long, long time, and I'm very happy that you brought him up today.
Is it often used inappropriately, like in erotic scenarios?
Yes.
He's my Jiminy Cricket.
It's not flicking the bean anymore there, Greg. It's flicking the Jiminy Cricket.
So I read this interesting statistical article about why it's called Karen, and they actually parsed out with lots of data. It was a really well done article where they basically were like, okay, Karen was a very popular name for a very short time. Basically, my sister's Karen. She's a year older than me. So basically, it's a very Generation X thing from 50s to the 70s. And then the name kind of died out. So those women are now 50. And that's that Karen age, where they're old enough to feel like they can complain and yell because they're not just meek little women anymore. And they also did the males' names using that idea. And you know what the number one male name was?
Greg.
Yes, it was.
Really?
So a male Karen is a Greg.
A male Karen is a Greg.
Little do they know they should have surveyed you to find out your lack of testosterone.
Exactly. I'm the opposite of a Karen, Greg.
And your high estrogen level.
Yeah, I do.
Wow, Greg.
Well, actually, you're less masculine and less feminine than a Karen, Greg.
Oh yeah, I'm very not feminine. I mean, I'd be the worst drag queen ever. God, can you imagine me?
I can actually.
In a moo-moo with lipstick on. It'd be horrifying.
I don't know.
Sure,
man.
with
maybe
painted on eyebrows and everything.
Brendan smiling deviously.
Maybe.
I would make Divine look hot.
You just gotta clean all this up. I think if you cleaned all this up, you got a pretty mouth. I'm not gonna lie.
Squeal.
That's purdy.
Squeal like a pig.
Purdy.
I actually did one Halloween. I dressed up for once. I wanted to do the woman thing, and I even got like friends to help me out do my makeup. And oh my God, it was like putting a silk dress on a sow, on a pig. It was like I just looked so laughably bad that.
Wait, tell me this metaphor you just mangled again.
Yeah, it's like
the silk frog on a shoehorn.
It's like making a silk prawn out of a lobster tail. I mixed up silk purse. I mixed up the sow's ear and a silk purse thing with putting a dress on a pig or something.
Don't do pudding with a pig.
But you guys, I look so bad that even my friends at the bar where I worked they were almost offended at how bad I looked. They were mad at me for looking that bad. They were rude to me and like, why did you dress like that? It's Halloween. Yeah, well, they were just it was weird how bad I looked. That people were angry at me.
On a completely different note whatsoever, there was a thing you had said that you start off saying rue and then you went rude. And for some reason in my mind, I realized that you hardly ever hear anybody use the term rootin' tootin' anymore. And not that it has any relevance to anything we're talking about. Just happened to be the
rootin' tootin'.
You never hear anyone say 23 skidoo either. Are you going to think about that for the rest of the day?
I think I've heard that more than rootin' tootin'. But
rootin' tootin', I don't know.
Well, I'm
don't
gonna
know.
start using it.
I don't know why I thought this,
There
but
was a
it should give you a little bit of an insight into what goes on while I'm listening to you guys in
Yeah.
my
yeah,
head. I
yeah.
have
You know,
thoughts. I have thoughts.
Yosemite Sam has got a fucking shitload of those
You're
catchphrases.
rootin' tootin' varmint.
Yeah, and I there was a guy I worked with, I want to say maybe 15 years ago, that literally talked like Yosemite Sam from time to time.
Wow. I would have hung out with that guy every day.
Yeah,
I saw an interview with the guy who created the show Deadwood, and because he was casting it in a number of times for all of the incredible profanity that was in that show that people didn't feel would be used in that period of American history. And he said, well, we considered that, but everybody came out sounding like Yosemite Sam whenever we put it in the dialogue. So they modernized the curse words because it's like, gosh darn it, how dare you do that?
Dag nabbit, you rabbit.
I love that part of Deadwood, how it gave it a verisimilitude, because it was like, yeah. people
Ooh,
always-
verisimilitude. There's the
In
word
the-
of the day.
In the 1700s, people said fucking shit. I mean, fuck's an old word. Everyone could talk like that, just like they do now. You think people back then talked like Shakespeare, like, oh, forsooth, you scoundrel, you blackguard.
Did
I always
either
think you-
one? Yeah,
sorry.
did either one of you watch the what was it called? The History of Curse Words or something with Nick Cage?
No.
I think it was on
terrible,
Netflix.
I saw the first episode.
I thought it was great. I loved it. I thought it was historical
Yeah.
and funny, and I love Nick Cage. So anyway,
Yeah, Nick Cage is looking younger than ever. His last plastic surgery really took.
no, he's
It-
looking
it-
good.
He looks like he's 30.
I
Nicolas
wouldn't go
Cage.
that far. I wouldn't go that far, but he did look good for his age.
He doesn't look weird anymore, because 10 years ago, he got that one where he looked weird. He was
Well,
looking-
plus he was wearing like a strange wig too that didn't quite fit well, and it was like black or something.
Is he a
and-
bald guy? Is he bald?
I don't know that
No.
he's bald, but I'm sure his hair was receding to some
Yeah,
extent. And
I'm
in
sure.
Hollywood, you wear a lot of wigs for things. I can't really fault those guys for that. They're trying to keep.
I
their
just wanted,
careers
in that
afloat.
show, I wanted more talking of the history of curse words and less jokes. The jokes were funny, but it seemed like they barely talked about.
It looks like
never
you're
even
making
found out.
Brendan sad, Greg. He's like,
No, I was coughing. No,
I just-
I don't
saw this-
disagree. I don't
it's
disagree
like
at all.
I feel
with
for
what he was
Nicolas
saying.
Cage, and I can't believe you're saying these things about
No,
him.
no. I was eating these. Our next sponsor is
Roof donkey Skittles.
Skittles, the sour kind, and it went down the wrong pipe as he was talking because I was kind of laughing. Anyway,
Bottom feeding crappies candies.
I
So
agree.
much product placement today.
Yeah,
Yeah.
whatever.
We're whores.
I'm sponsored by Blue Cup that you cannot see.
Blue cup. It's imaginary.
There it is.
There it
You see
is.
it now. Blue Cup. Get one.
It dissolves into your blue wall.
It does. Becomes one with the blue screen, the green screen, or whatever screen. I don't even have a screen behind me. I bought a green screen from China because I was planning on using it with Zoom, and then I got this new computer, and the new computer is able to do this green screen action without me having an actual green screen. And so I'm like, oh, I bought this green screen for no reason.
No,
I've been meaning to use it for the longest time, but now it's just, green.
no. I'm gonna give you a little tip. It is better than what you're doing. You know how
Yeah,
like
because you keep your head disappears all the time.
Yeah, that whole disappearing thing, because I went through this with Holly. That
Mhm.
whole disappearing thing. If you have a green screen and not using the Zoom like virtual background, it is a totally different experience.
I did, and it didn't seem to be much of a difference. I
It was
tested it out.
It was a huge difference for Holly.
I think maybe
Especially-
because mine's like circular or something, and maybe it doesn't quite fill up the screen, but I'm not sure.
You'd have to fill up the screen like hers with the one we got was pretty big,
Yeah.
but she would use the virtual thing. And not only would she have the disappearing thing, because like if she didn't move, it was fine. But
Yeah.
her hair, which none of us really have a lot of that going on, but her hair would be like wackadoo.
Wackadoo.
That sounds like a plus. I would like that.
like that
No.
wackadoo hair.
Yeah,
No.
that my hair was just going crazy all the time.
Well, no, imagine like you see what's happening with the sides of Matt's head.
Yeah.
where it's like that shit appears and disappears. Imagine that's your hairdo and you're a woman. That's not a good look.
Yes.
Honestly, I kind of like the disappearing stuff. It fits in with my personal sensibilities.
Matt, is your wife ever a Karen?
Only with me.
When she's your customer?
Because I'm the one who handles the difficulties that she has the problems with. So it's deferred to me to address these things. But
so she Karens you,
yes,
so that you then will Karen them.
Right. Well, it's just that I don't act that way with those people, though. I just get the things addressed that need to be addressed in as politic a way as possible, because the major upset is directed at me, even though I may have not had anything to do with the situation at all. It's just that I can handle that. I can handle the aggression personally and dial it down to the point where then what needs to get done gets done.
But are you sure you're not being the rude, condescending manager in this analogy?
No, I'm only that way with friends.
Okay. Yeah,
So,
I've seen that.
Yeah, I don't treat people I know as badly as I treat people I know.
Yeah, got it.
Yeah.
What?
So I don't treat people I don't know as badly as the people I know.
Oh, I thought you said I don't treat people I know as badly as people I know. Like
I think I did say that, and I realized I left out a word, so I repeated it.
I thought you were trying to make like a Zen koan and make us all think like, ooh,
yeah.
No,
I was.
Whoa.
What is the sound of one finger clapping?
Yeah, that is what he said. That's why I was like, what? Huh?
Heavy.
After I said it, I thought I had missed a word, and that's why I repeated what I meant to say. So the truth could actually be there as opposed to just not be out there. It's there as opposed to out there.
Spring Valley Vitamin E. Really a great product.
Signature Select jalapeno refried beans.
I thought that was a drink for a second, Greg. I thought you were drinking jalapeno soda.
I do say at the end of the day, I've seen you two together, you and your wife, and there's definitely a lot of Karen in that household. Drink.
What?
There's a lot of Karen.
Is that supposed to be like an apostrophe after? Oh, got it. Yeah, feel free to drink.
That's why I wanted to drink. I had to say it.
Like you needed a reason to drink.
It was the worst joke ever.
That was
a Hallmark card joke.
Oh, before we wrap things up, we still got about 5-10 minutes or so. But just as a reminder to everybody who's made it this far in the show, I'm letting everyone know once again we are doing a special show for anniversary, which will be on June 23rd. It's going to be live and streamed on YouTube. We'll still be Zooming, but it'll also go on YouTube live. If you're interested in actually appearing on that episode, it's going to be a 2-hour show. If you contact me at qsblawoffices@gmail.com, or you can send it through our website, www.qsblaw.org, I will probably allow you to come onto the show for a minute or two, and we will give you some kind of phony award for actually doing it. Perhaps the best unexpected visitor award or something along those lines.
Or biggest masochist who keeps listening to our show.
I was going to say, and that offer applies not only to guests who've been on the show, but to longtime listeners or short-time listeners, any listener.
Right. Of any persuasion who we've potentially either been friendly about or insulted some point during the course of this past year. Because I'm sure there are people in various different categories that we have not been friendly to over the course of this time. And
right. So
we apologize generally then, but not
for
now.
instance, if there are any of our listeners that are retards or midgets that want to come on and yell at me, then this is your opportunity.
So the law offices of Quibble, Squabble, and Bicker neither endorse nor condone the language used by Brendan. He is
reef donkey.
Blame it on the reef donkey.
Blame it on the reef donkey.
So that's June 23rd, everybody. And again, but if you want to find out more about us, this is the only place really to find out more about us is during the course of our shows. We don't really put a lot of stuff anywhere else. However, there are weird videos that I've done on TikTok. If you want to track us down on TikTok, we're on a social media network that operates off of cryptocurrency, and maybe someday we'll investigate that. It's called UHive. You can find us on UHive as well. We also have a presence on Instagram, which is basically just the videos that I've done on TikTok. We're on Twitter. Again, same thing. I pretty much dial them all in together, so you're getting the same content everywhere. And then, of course, YouTube, and as well as through the various different podcasting platforms where you hear us now. If you're not listening to us right now, then obviously I'm not talking to you. So if you're not listening to us now, please go away. We don't care about you.
And UHive was started by Yosemite Sam?
Yes, it was.
All them varmints in England put UHive together, created cryptocurrency, which is basically just bags of gold with a dollar sign
The big
on it.
announcement about the anniversary show is any female listening will get a night in a hotel room with me, where we'll spend the whole night together.
What?
Wasn't that the raffle we were going to do? Where
That would be a punishment, Greg.
Women can win.
We don't want to punish the people who are.
They can pay $100 to spend a night in a hotel with me.
Right. Now, let me ask you a question, Greg. If we actually did that, would you do it? Would you spend a night with whatever they wanted?
No, that seems tiring. I was just a shout out to my main man, the pipe man. Sorry. Pipe man, if you're listening, I'm stealing your idea.
He loves you, Pipe Man. For those of you who are coming in late, Dean the Pipe Man Piper was one of our guests a month or two ago. He is an internet radio mogul down in Florida. And he apparently gave some kind of offer where people could spend the night with him. This is where Greg's idea was coming from. Essentially, Greg was stealing somebody else's bad idea. That's where that comes from. So I'm being a Karen in this response to Greg. Don't ever do it again. I'm going to talk to your manager. Where's the manager in Burgerville? So that I can explain to him what you're doing.
This will be the stand-in, this cup.
Hey, that's community built since 1961.
Can I help you, sir?
Is that your new mannequin? Is a Burgerville cup?
Yes.
That's who's going to replace you on the show from now on.
It's better looking.
More product placement. All right. Well, what else do we want to say before we end off here? As a reminder, there's an anniversary show coming, June 23rd, everybody.
Merch. Did we just finish talking about that?
I think we said something about it recently. I'm not sure if it happens like sooner than later.
It's like talking to my mom with dementia. Every you got to repeat everything every 30 seconds. What about the merch? You have merch coming on the website.
Yeah, well, because we may be potentially having new artwork, the merch store is not going to be open to the public till that's dialed down in terms of what we decide to create. Now, it does take a couple of weeks for the merchandise to show up. So the test merchandise that I've got on the way probably won't show up. I'm not expecting for like another week and a half or so. It's supposed to be showing up June 6th, but I'll definitely make a presentation whenever we.
I just want our listeners to start saving their money now to be ready.
Don't save your money, spend the money.
No, save it for our merch.
Oh, well, there's that.
It's a stimulus for the economy.
Is it? Yeah, because we're trying to help America through selling the stuff that we're. So actually let me know also through the website or through emailing me what kind of merchandise you would like to buy. Do you want to buy a hoodie? Do you want to buy a mug? Do you want to buy a pint glass? Do you want to buy a scarf? Do you want to buy a small Chinese boy? Whatever it is you're interested in, and I can sell it through merch. Probably not the last one that I said. Feel free to give your desires and wishes. We could do stickers, die-cut stickers. I'm not even really sure what a die-cut sticker is, but they make those, and you can put your logo and stuff on them. If you want this logo, we could possibly do merchandise that has the new logo that we're eventually going to create, or this current one. You could have either, or none, or not buy any.
I never knew what die-cut meant either. My whole life, there was die-cut stickers. What does die-cut mean?
Maybe they cut you till you die.
That sounds logical.
Right, but it doesn't work.
A die-cut sticker is like, let's say you have a sticker, right?
Okay.
And it's just a flat sticker.
Uh-huh.
A die-cut sticker is, there's a certain amount of that sticker that's been punched out.
Oh, like a shape.
Like a shape. And so when you put the sticker on it, there's parts of the sticker that whatever you're putting it on, those things show through. Does that make sense? Like there's holes in your square sticker, and those holes are the die cut.
Oh,
I don't even understand.
never knew that.
I don't know what he means by the thing sticking out. It's just not being clear to me.
Imagine there's a square. Imagine
I
there's a stamp.
imagine there is a square.
There's a square, and it's that square is whole. It's one square.
The square
Now-
is whole.
Imagine that in the middle of that square there's a circle, and that circle is a hole within the square.
The whole
It's been cut out.
There's a hole in the square.
by
The
a die.
circle has been cut out of the circle's been coming out of the hole. So when you place the sticker, the hole shows through.
The shape of a 20-sided die.
This is
that
a
why it's called
holy
die cut?
sticker. It is a sticker from God.
Yes.
I want to start a cult where at the end of every sentence that everyone will chant, "The square is whole. The
There's a
square
hole
is
in the
whole."
square.
There is a hole in the square.
I really did not understand anything that Brendan said. Did not. I think I would need
Even
to
I
see the
understand
thing.
it.
That's good. You guys have better spatial memory than I have. I'm not good with artistic things. It
Just
doesn't
remember the square is
quite-
whole.
Yeah, I'm
remember.
right. The hole is in the square. There's a
The hole
thing
is
that
in the
sticks
square.
out, and there's a thing. I don't know. Maybe I'm just not that familiar with.
I still
stickers.
don't know where die comes in, but it's probably the
The-
machine that cuts the hole.
The die is exactly right, Greg. The die is the thing that cuts the hole.
Okay.
That's a
Die
die.
is the thing that cuts the
It's a
hole.
20-sided
in the
die.
square that sticks
No,
out.
it has nothing to do with Dungeons and Dragons.
Aw. Now I'm not
But if you
interested.
roll a 20, you get the sticker.
If you roll a 20, it's a critical hit, and it's double whatever the
Yeah.
damage die.
Double
And
size.
the
sticker-
orc-
double
the
sticker
orc
damage.
dies.
The orc is fucked on a
Yeah.
20.
Yeah, basically
got-
just squished its head.
You put a sticker over its mouth and it suffocates.
What was our client for today, guys?
I can't remember. The client is always Karen.
The
I mean,
customer
The
is
client is always
always
Karen.
The customer is always Karen, not the client.
The
Our
client is always ludicrous. I think that's
It's like, who came up with this concept anyway?
That'd be okay with me.
the
Now, of
client
course-
is always a MacGuffin.
Now, of course, if our guest does come back, we're gonna have to come up with a different client for him.
We will, and I'm sure we'll just come up with something that he may or may not appreciate. But
I'd like to talk about solopreneurs.
the funny thing is that our guest actually was meeting with a client, so that it all
real
kind of
client.
comes full circle. His own
I-
client,
I hope that client wasn't a Karen.
Yeah. Or a Greg.
It could be either, it could be both, it could be neither, or noth, and that is not a word. So, all right, we'll let's just wrap this sucker up. So, we want to thank everybody for paying attention this far and hearing all the various different announcements while we kind of revisited our old format. And that's also, so everyone knows, come the anniversary with our third season will be starting right after that, and there will be a format change. We'll be going to one show a week, everyone. One show a week will be happening in our third season, which will be around the third week of June. And it'll just be, I think Thursdays will be when it gets released. I don't know. We'll work that out. Not that you care. None of you care. If you cared, you'd engage. And the only ones who've engaged have been the guys from the Happy Hour News team. And it's a shout out to Shanty and Jim
Maria.
Nichols.
Maria said you
Well,
can get her messages somehow. She
What's
said
that?
she said she's texted us or whatever. Facebook, there's or something.
she has that's true. She has sent some messages on Facebook, and I have responded in that way. So Maria does
Yeah.
count to an extent, but but she's related. I'm talking about people who don't know us personally and
Yes.
aren't related to us, Greg. I'm not talking about the people that we paid to listen to us. I'm not
I
talking about
did
those.
pay Maria.
Oh, you did with your soul.
No, seriously though, Dirty Sanchez and the other guy, Shanty Pants. I love those guys. And we've been listening to their show. Those guys are terrific. Listen to their show, guys. Happy Hour News Team.
Straight from the hills of North Dakota,
Absolutely.
the frozen
hills?
wasteland of. I'm sure they got hills there.
I don't think they do. I think
there's
it's all
snow in
fucking-
them. There are hills.
It's a vast wasteland, flat. like Kansas.
Dakota. All right, and yeah, we're gonna be having new music or new intros and outros and stuff and things. It's all gonna be a whole change up come June 23rd, or at least the week after that, where we do things, kind of sort of different, but it's still gonna be this basic jabber.
We're gonna get more edgy. That's the main thing for the third season.
Yeah, I think we've decided we're no longer gonna have any somewhat famous people come on. We just want total unknowns. In other words, people that don't even have friends. We're going to have those as guests from now on because they might be less interested in promoting things.
Drifters.
Yeah. Vagrants, hobos, all of those folks.
Yeah, you can't use drifters because I heard. No, never mind.
It's canceled.
That was the name of a band too.
No, I think it's Drifting Americans now.
Unlike our Octopus Americans from last week.
Yes.
All right, guys. This is the Law Offices of Quibble, Squabble, and Bicker. I couldn't even say it right, could I?
Oh, Lord.
Couldn't even. Thank you all for listening.
Sir.
Good day to the Law Offices of Quibble, Squabble, and Reef Donkey. Bicker.
You've left the offices of Quibble, Squabble, and Bicker. It's over. It's over. It's time for you to go home. It's over. It's over. Go away now.